Tim Tebow didn't just play football. He made believers out of doubters and turned impossible moments into miracles. Today, I'm counting down the top 9 plays of his career. Watch closely, because these plays weren't just about winning or losing. They redefined what it means to have heart, faith, and clutch performance when everything is on the line. But before we dive into the highlights, let me introduce you to the phenomenon himself, Tim Tebow. Everyone knows him as one of the most polarizing and inspirational athletes of all time. From a Florida homeschooler to a college football legend, he stunned the NFL community with his unorthodox approach. In 2007, he became the first sophomore in Florida history to win the Heisman Trophy. With 9,286 passing yards, 2,947 rushing yards, and 145 total touchdowns, he became the face of college. Tebow was more than just a number, though. It was his trademark jump pass. Jump pass that no defense could figure out. His leadership, his pre-game speeches, and the way he wore his faith on his sleeve. Critics questioned his accuracy and throwing motion when he was selected in the first round of the 2010 NFL Draft by Denver. However, Tebow mania seized hold in 2011 as he guided the Broncos to the postseason with inexplicable fourth-quarter comebacks. All the while, he was a role model outside of sports because of his faith-based leadership and charity endeavors. And those times, they were more than just highlights. They demonstrated that perseverance and heart are more important than flawless technique. Now, let's check out my top 9 favorite plays from Tebow's incredible career. 9. The Promise Speech.
And I just want to say one thing to the fans and everybody in Gator Nation. I'm sorry. Extremely sorry. You know, we were hoping for an undefeated season. That was my goal. Something Florida's never done here. But I promise you one thing. A lot of good will come out of this. You have never seen any player in the entire country.
2008. After a shocking upset loss to Ole Miss that ended Florida's 22-game winning streak, Tim Tebow stepped up to the microphone and delivered what became known as the promise. I promise you one thing. A lot of good will come out of this. You will never see any player in the entire country play as hard as I will play the rest of the season. You will never see a team play harder than we will the rest of the season. And he kept that promise. Florida didn't lose another game, won the SEC championship, and demolished Oklahoma 24-14 in the national title game. This wasn't just a speech. It was a guarantee that changed a season. 8. The jump pass TD versus Alabama 2008 SEC championship. 4th and 1, SEC championship on the line, and everybody knew what was coming. Tim Tebow up the middle. But instead of the expected national championship spot, it perfectly showcased Tebow's unique skill set, power to run between tackles, and creativity to make plays when defenses least expected it. 7. 2007 Heisman Trophy season when Tim Tebow became the first sophomore ever to win the Heisman Trophy. He made history. That season, he threw for 3,286 yards and 32 touchdowns while rushing for 895 yards and 23 touchdowns. The first player ever to throw for 6. The crying game versus Alabama, 2009 SEC championship. After Alabama ended Florida's championship hopes with a 32-13 victory, cameras caught Tim Tebow crying on the sideline. Critics called him weak, but those tears showed how much winning meant to him. This wasn't about personal glory. Tebow had led Florida to 2 national championships, and knowing this was likely his final chance at a third broke his heart. Those tears became iconic because they represented pure, unfiltered emotion. In an era of calculated responses, Tebow showed raw humanity that made his legacy even more compelling. 5. 4th and 1 versus LSU, 2009. 4th down and 1 yard to go against LSU's intimidating defense. Everyone knew Tim Tebow was getting the ball, but they didn't expect how he'd get it done. Tebow took the handoff and powered through 3 LSU defenders at the goal line. With surprising speed, he was nearly unstoppable in short yardage situations. 4. Wild card overtime TD versus Steelers, 2012. The play that launched Tebow mania into overdrive. First play of overtime in the wild card playoffs, Tim Tebow found Demaryius Thomas on a slant route. Thomas broke a tackle and raced 80 yards for the game-winning touchdown. Most teams would have quit, but Florida never lost. One of the biggest comebacks in college football history ensued. In the last 18 minutes, Tebow scored 4 touchdowns, 3 throwing and 1 rushing, to help Florida level the score at a surprising 26-26, with a cap on the amazing comeback, and drove the Swamp into a frenzy. His ability to make plays with both arms and legs, as come any deficit, were demonstrated during the comeback. 2. The pivotal game against Georgia, which his teammates still discuss today. This is our home. They are not allowed to enter our home and harass us. We will demonstrate to them the essence of Florida football. In response, the Gators crushed Georgia 49-10, with Tebow scoring 5 touchdowns in all. 1. National Championship versus Oklahoma, 2009. The scene was set. A national championship matchup between unbeaten Florida and formidable Oklahoma. Tim Tebow had to fulfill his pledge of a championship following the Ole Miss defeat. In Florida's resounding 24-14 victory, he ran for 109 yards and threw for 231 yards and 2 touchdowns. In the third quarter, it came to an end with that title. There's more to Tim Tebow's legacy than just his stats, is whether he a first-round NFL draft pick, 2-time national champion, Heisman Trophy winner, and an inspiration to athletes who dare to play with passion and dream big. If you enjoyed this countdown, hit like, subscribe, and share your favorite Tebow moment in the comments. I'll read the best ones in the next video. Until then, keep believing in miracles. Take care.